A very good evening to everyone present here. Mozilla Campus Club, or Father CRC, is happy to be back with an exciting webinar on prototype validation. We are really proud to have with us our guest speaker for today's event, Mr. Rudragowda Patil. Mr. Patil is someone who is passionate about education and mentoring. He is currently pursuing research on improving education technology using artificial intelligence and machine learning. He is a professor and an entrepreneur educator at MIT Academy of Engineering. Mr. Patil not only stands tall as a domain expert, having articulate knowledge regarding everything ranging from artificial intelligence to education technologies, but also has a demonstrated history in guiding young and budding entrepreneurs and is known to have delivered multiple sessions on entrepreneurship in the past. We are honored to have someone of his expertise as our speaker for today and hoping everyone has a great and informative session. Now I'd like to call Mr. Patil to take this session ahead.
Sir, you're on mute.
Thank you, Amisha, and very good evening for all young entrepreneurs here. So I believe I'm audible. So with this very warm evening, so I'd like to give you some knowledge on the various aspects where entrepreneurs follow deeply in order to be a successful entrepreneur. Okay. So before I proceed with this, I would like to share my philosophy. My vision of an educator is to inspire and educate budding educators as well as an entrepreneurs, such that they not only connect the theories with the practical, but also apply in the field of education and entrepreneurship. Okay, and accept the challenge of this 21st century society. So now I would like to present here with my screen, and then I would like to take ahead. Before let me present. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It's clear. Okay, before we proceed, I would like to give you an overview. Right, most of you are young entrepreneurs who are looking for oceans of opportunities outside, right? And hardly 4% of the entrepreneurs succeed in being an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, calling them as a successful entrepreneur. So, which is not an easy task. There are so many hurdles you need to face, and go with the world and facing challenges every day, every minute, and accept all the challenges which are coming to you. Maybe some worst situations come to you, some best situations come to you. Accept it and then move ahead. Okay. So now today's agenda for discussion here is the importance of problem and the passion. So mostly you are not aware. You have been called me to validate the prototype, but before building a prototype, there are certain things which you need to know as an entrepreneur, right? So first thing is you need to know is the importance of the problem and the passion that you are having. So both should go in hand. The second is validating the problem with the customer, and third one is validating the prototype with the customer, and then comes is validating the minimum viable product with the customer. So these are four different aspects which you need to always validate with respect to the customer or the people whom you call as a customer. Now, where does the customer exist? Right, there is a question. Now we'll see that particular thing, where does the customer exist and how to identify the customers. So it is a keen observation that you need to do. So before I move on to identifying the customers and validating the problem, so would like to give you some highlights on your passion and identifying the flow. So you all are very much aware of your passion, right? You all are passionate about certain things. Someone is good at cricket, someone is good at dancing, someone is good at singing, right? Someone is good at making crafts by hand, someone is good at making mimicries. So many things are there, right? So out of your passion, so one thing that you need to identify here is you need to identify what is your flow. Flow is something, a state. It is a state of a person or of a human in which he loses track of time while doing that particular activity of his passion. Okay, or you require certain skills or talent to do that particular passion. You are only unique in doing that particular activity because you are very much passionate about it, right? Be it in dancing skill, dancing doesn't come to everyone. Be it in singing, it doesn't come to everyone, but you are skilled with that particular talent or skill, right? And then you take initiative and you need not to be pushed to do that particular thing, right? So in order to identify whether your passion is a state of a flow or not, so you need to understand or have these questions in your mind. You lose track of a time, you don't require any additional skills, you are already talented in that particular passion or area of passionate, and you need not to be pushed to do this particular activities several times a day, several times a month, year, right? And you grab every opportunity which are coming in this particular area, right, to improvise your skill. Let me give you Sachin Tendulkar, right? And then I can say Lata Mangeshkar, Prabhudeva, right? And then Ambani or Tata, right? So they are all passionate about what they want to do. Even Narayan Murthy, Infosys founder Narayan Murthy, they are all passionate about what they want to do, right? And they accept every opportunity which are coming in that particular direction. And even if the activity is challenging, right, they enjoy taking up the challenges. So my question to you all is: are you born with such skill, and are you behind certain passionate, and do you have some state of flow in that particular passionate world? Yes, no, let me know it. You can unmute and say yes, no. Do you have such skills?
No.
No. Okay. So why I am telling you this particular thing in this entrepreneurial world, because you are going to become an entrepreneur. Before you jump onto electing any or selecting any problem statement and developing a prototype and building and kingdom around that particular prototype, you should be passionate in doing certain things on your own interest. Okay, so you should be very much passionate about entrepreneur. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you should be very much passionate about being an entrepreneur, and identify one particular skill which you are very much passionate about, right? So that is the first requirement for an entrepreneur, right? So I mean to tell you that you need to validate yourself. Self discovery is the first validation phase, right? If you have not done it, do it right now. And if you have not developed a passionate in any of the areas, please do develop passion or passionate in that particular uh, direction. Okay, it's still a time, and you need to understand whether you are in a state of flow or not. Just to give an example, during the examination you forget the entire thing, everything, right? So you forget to have your breakfast, to have your lunch. Sometimes you skip your evening dinners, and you focus on your studies. And that particular state during that particular phase is called as the state of a flow. And similarly, to be an entrepreneur, you must achieve the state of a flow in being entrepreneur in the domain of passion.
Guys, stay on. So has a Pakat. He'll be joining in 5 minutes.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So there's a power failure here. So there is no backup in laptop as well. Uh, well, I'm just connected using mobile. So I was discussing about the very first stage of validation. That is, you have to validate yourself. Okay. And in order to validate, you're supposed to ask few questions which I have elaborated earlier, right? That is the first stage of validation one you have to do. Second thing that you need to do is you need to explore the opportunities. And opportunities exist everywhere. I can say opportunities exist everywhere. And only thing is, it opportunities are to only those people who right. It exists a group of people who are doing job. It exists in a certain region where group of people where they are not skilled, they are not aware of that, right? So you guys are those problems, right? The people usually undergo certain difficulties in managing their own things. To follow that is called as observe, observe, and right. So say about this particular statement, three words, very word, observe, observe, right? So what brings in your mind is an movie called as a dialogue of a movie, right? Entertainment, entertainment, and entertainment, right? So similarly, in order the have to observe the people, you have to observe the uh, opportunities that are appearing around you. Observe the people who are doing certain tasks. Maybe street vendor facing some difficulties, right? People going nearby is also facing certain problem, right? So you have to immerse in them. You have to understand what is their concern, their scenario, their problem, right? And then identify that particular problem, right? And to do that, what you have to do is you have to observe. Only what you need to do is observe. And this observation you are going to do in the area of your own passionate. Maybe you are passionate about building an innovative system, innovative application, right? Building an IoT application, building an some craft, right? Building a very miniature application, right? So that is your passionate, but Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Hello.
You're
Okay.
audible.
Hope I am audible, right? Just a minute. Power has come back, and I will be able to connect to Wi-Fi. I'll rejoin using system. So I was talking about identifying and exploring an opportunity, right? So always remember this problem exists in certain group of people, and those group of people are going to become your customer. They are going to become your customer in near future because they are the people who are facing difficulties, and you are the one who are going to provide them a value proposed solution. I'm quoting it here in the beginning itself. You are going to provide them with a value proposed solution. Okay. Just a minute. Give me a minute. I'll connect using system. The second thing is that I was discussing is about validating the problem, right? Now, how should you need to take the problem? What exercises do you need to undertake any kind of a problem, right? So you must be very much aware, right? As I have mentioned, problem exists in a group of people. It does not exist anywhere else. It exists only in a, it may be an individual person or it may be a some group of people, right? And the problem may also exist in certain solution which are already given to the group of people. Like I have been given with certain smartphone, but even I'm having a problem with the smartphone, right? I'm again facing certain issues with those equipment. Like I have been given with a Wi-Fi facility, I have been given with a laptop, right? But the problem is I have not been given with the proper current. It could be a problem for me, right? So would there be any solution for this, right? There may exist, right? There may be a lot of solutions existing for these problems, but even after having certain solutions, right? Those solutions are really not solving my problem as a customer, right? I'm looking for still an alternative, someone who can provide me an most efficient solution which can help me in all sort of uh, situations, not in just a particular situation, but in also in all sort of a situation, right? So you need to, you being an technocrats, right? You need to identify that opportunity and discuss with them, right? So what kind of a solution they are expecting, whether are they finding, are they using any alternatives in this current existing world? If they are facing any problem, you need to empathize them and you need to ask them, is there any alternative approach that they are following? If they are following any alternative approach, then would that be sufficient for them to help them to face their difficulties, right? So if there is an alternative, then would that alternative, are they using it with very ease, is the second question that you can ask. If they are happy using any alternative, then there is no meaning of developing an alternative solution to that particular problem, right? Maybe varieties may come into the picture, but those varieties are become, again it become a very huge competition if you want to address the similar kind of a solution, right? But you have to face the competition as well, right? So being an entrepreneur, facing a competition would be more tedious. Being an young budding entrepreneur and facing the competition with a very huge existing brand would be very difficult for you guys, right? So always it is good to have an solution, a unique value proposed solution, which is going to help your customer in solving their own problem, right? In addressing their own problem, difficulties that they are facing. This is the second step of validation that you need to do. Once you develop or you do an validation of the problem, right? Whether is it really a problem for a customer, then it is good to come up with an solution for that. That is, if there are no existing solutions. If there are an existing solutions, please do know what are their requirements. How do they need to operate those alternatives, right? Whether your customer are, whether the people are happy using those alternatives, right? That is the second step of doing validation. Okay, and once you validate the problem from the customer and understand their pain points in using the alternatives, right? So then you can jump on to building a solution for that particular problem. If there are an alternatives, so if there are problems with an alternatives also, right, you come up with an innovative solution, propose a solution, and for that what you need to do is you need to explore the out of box thinking. You need to apply design thinking methodology, or you need to think out of box. You have to be different from what others are thinking, and you need to come up with an out of box thinking and develop a solution to it. Not just one single solution, but explore and come up with multiple solutions, because you don't know which particular solution your customer would like, right? Don't end up building only one particular solution. Build multiple solutions and validate those solutions, right? How to validate those solutions is develop a prototype. Okay, so when you are coming up with multiple solutions, it is not an easy task to develop an actual product or a service out of that particular solution, right? You are coming up with an idea, but giving a realistic solution of all the different possibilities or all different solutions that you have come up, right? It is not possible for a single person to give multiple solutions to the customers. First, build the prototype of those multiple solutions, right? And take those multiple prototypes, right, to the customer. Now, I believe that you all are familiar with developing a prototype. Please let me know what protocol do you follow in developing any sort of a prototypes. Please let me know. Okay, a minute for discussion here.
Sir,
What?
sorry to interrupt, but can we have the slides? Like, if it's
Yes, yes, yes.
possible.
Right. I'm arranging for it. I'm just starting the system and I'm logging into my
Uh,
credentials. Okay. It just takes one more minute. That's it. So till that time, just I want to know what are the different ways through which you develop a prototype. What are the different prototypes that you can develop? Be interactive. You are all budding entrepreneurs, and you should know what to develop, right, for your customers. Give me a minute, I'm just sharing a screen. Is my screen visible? Hello? Is my screen
Yes,
visible?
sir. It's
Okay.
visible.
Just
You
okay,
could
thank
put
you.
it on slideshow mode.
Okay, I'm doing it. So I was talking about this validating the problem with customer, right? And remember that opportunities are not always disguised as a problems, right? Sometimes they may be found in a group of people or the customer. That's what I was talking about. So customer does not, sorry, opportunities does not exist as only a problems, but they are often found in some group of people. Maybe the problem may be related to an using an existing devices or mechanism or a media or whatever it is, right? But again, it is a customer dependent. So often what happens is entrepreneur often trip because they often start with the solution, not the problem. Most entrepreneurs fail because they come up with the solution and they develop a solution entirely and then they take it to the customer, and once often they take it to the customer, they understand that customer doesn't require it, right? Customer does not require it. So and then this is the situation where they fail. So it's always better to identify the problem and develop multiple solutions in the form of prototype and take those prototypes to the customer. Now what you need to do once you develop a prototype, you have to validate that particular prototype. How to validate it is by conducting mock demos, showcasing it under exhibition, and demonstrating it to the people whom you call as a customer. Okay. Now customer, again, most of the young entrepreneurs understand that customer, where if I ask you a question, where does the customer exist, right? So most of the budding entrepreneurs say that customers are everywhere, right? So that is often again misunderstood by most of the young entrepreneurs, right? Customer does not exist everywhere. Customer exists where there is a problem. And remember that for any solution that you are developing to a particular problem, your customer are the people who are facing those problems very acutely, right? Not all the people of the world, but it's the people in your locality, in your reachability, right? Where the people are facing the problem that you have identified, right? So always remember when you are developing a solution and you can only market that particular solution or the product or a service to a limited area, and that limited area should always follow to the bird in hand principle. So what is bird in hand principle, right? So always remember your resources are limited, right? Maybe the people whom you are in contact with, right? The amount of uh, the money that you are having, right? The amount of infrastructure that you are having is all limited, right? And it is all limited to a particular person in different way, right? For Dhirubhai Ambani it is different, for Vijay Mallya it is different, right? For Adani it is different, right? Even for say for example the people around you, the burden and principle is different for different people. It is different from me, for you it is different. It is all about the knowledge of the resources that you are having. Okay. So often start with what resources that you are having and focus on the problem, and with that particular resources you can only reach to a particular set of customers, not all the people. Don't always focus the national problem. First, focus only on the local problems. Okay, so if you are able to serve in your locality, definitely it can grow, it can scale up. Once you start providing a service or a product in that particular locality, you can expand it in the later phase of a time. So what your customers are looking out is a solution, right, which they are interested in. That is what here is a quote for it, that is, find out what is pushing your customer to look for a change. That becomes your solution. And the very first step of developing a solution is coming up with a prototype. Okay, let me take an example here to give a problem, right? I think cleaning a home is problem for every household, woman or a person, right? So what comes in a mind to clean the home is the first mop, right? So this mop is one first solution which has come into the picture, right? And everybody believes that this mop is going to do a fantastic job, right? Now there are a lot of problems existing with this particular mop also. There are so many alternatives to this particular mop, right? Use your hands, use old towel, right? Then you can even clean the floor. Basically the problem is not cleaning the floor. Basically the problem is now here using an existing alternative, right? So to this particular alternative, you need to come up with a solution, and the solution could be something like this, right? The most advanced cleaning mop. No need to dip your hand in water, right? You can just use, you can clean your floors standing, and it can reach to every corner of the room or your whatever home, right? But again, now is this what your customer is looking into, right? Maybe your customer is looking into this mop, right? But again, there could be a problem in this alternative solution also, right? After using, the customer may find it difficult in using this particular solution, right? What could be the difficulty? The difficulty could be you need to put a lot of energy in order to make this particular mop spin to just remove the water out, right? So the amount of energy that you need to put is too lot, and it may happen that it may not reach to every corner of the room, right? Maybe it is designed to reach to the most of the corners, but again it could not reach to most of the corners, right? Okay, what could be a solution for it? Now again you need to come up with a new prototype, right? Something to address the problem of an existing alternative, right? So the next thing that could come is an electric mop, right? Which has all the facilities. You just need to operate it. You need not to put a lot of energy in order to drain the water, right? So it sprays the water to wherever required, and then it cleans it off, right? You need not to put a lot of energy to wipe the floors also. So always remember, the solutions keep on coming, right? And what you need to focus is, you need to focus on the pain point the customer is facing with an alternate existing solutions also. Okay. Now, developing an value proposed solution. So you need to, there is a canvas which talks about developing an value proposed solution to an customer. So if there is no value proposed solution to the customer doesn't buy it, right? Even something that is being sold in the market free of cost, even people doesn't value it, right? You might be seeing so many people selling at roadside, right? You look into the solution only or you look into that particular product only when you are in need of, right? If you are not in need of those products, you never look into it, right? Though it is being sold free of cost, right? So what you need to do is to develop an proposed value. So first identify the customers and identify the customer segment, or to a segment is nothing but a group of people who are really facing that particular problem, and they become your core customers, not all the people, right? So from this, first thing that you need to target is understand the customer segment thoroughly through their jobs, their pains, and what gains they are expecting. Okay, once you understand thoroughly that what are the jobs that your customers are currently doing, what alternatives they are looking, and what are the pain points of those alternatives or the jobs that they are doing, and if both are not there, at least look for what gains they are accepting. Like, let me give an example of a phone pay or Google Pay. You young students are very much fascinated about these gains, right? So anything which is giving you a gain, you readily accept that particular product or a service, though if it is not important to you, right? How many of you have installed Google Pay or Phone Pay only because it is giving you some currency, right? So those are all just to penetrate into the market. But what is least accepted by the customer is the gains, and primary is the customer job and pain. If they are not there, at least focus on their gain parts. Okay, now how should be your solution? How should be your solution? Your solution should be a value proposed, and that value proposed product and service that you are proposing to your customer should act as a pain reliever and a gain creator. The pain reliever should address all the pain points of your customer jobs, and gain creator should always address to the gains that your customers are accepting. So if you follow to this particular canvas and develop a solution, right? So it is going to act as a value proposed solution to the customer, where the customer is readily interested in paying you something in order to get that solution. Okay. Now, once you thought of developing the solution, right, it's still in the assumption phase. Now, very first thing that you can do is you can come up with a prototype. Now, prototype is all the risk and assumption that you are making. What risk you are making is you are making a risk that this prototype, once converted into a real-time product, will definitely get sold into the market, right? That is the risk that you are making. Assumption is that yours is the one of the most unique solution that you are proposing to the customers, right? So when you are thinking of a solution to the problem, what riskiest thing that you are doing is you think your assumptions itself is the riskiest. Okay, you are making a riskiest assumption where you believe that your prototype, one converted into an actual product, will definitely hit the market and customer will readily buy it, which often most often entrepreneurs fail in doing it. Okay, so what need to do is come up with a prototype, not just one prototype, come up with a multiple prototypes. That is, come up with a multiple ideas to a single problem, develop prototype for each single solution, right? And focus only on the core solution or the core problem. Don't elaborate it, extend it to all the features. Give the only core solution, core features to the customer, which they're readily happy to accept those solutions, right? They are in the pain point, so you are giving them a tablet, right? They are facing a pain, you are giving them a tablet. It should be this simplest kind of a job. It should not happen that, okay, what does doctor do usually is they only address to your pain points, right? So entrepreneur is also kind of a doctor where they address only the pain point of the customers. So if you are trying to give the world of solutions to them, they don't accept it. भाई बस मेरे लिए इतना ही काफी है, राइट? तो आप लोगों में से इतने ऐसे डायलॉग कितने लोग मारते हैं, राइट? When you go for a shopping and when the seller is giving you so many offers, right? XYZ offers. When you go for a central or somewhere shopping, the salesperson is offering you so much of offers. So what ultimate dialogue will come from your side is, भाई मेरे लिए बस है अभी इतना ही काफी है. Okay, I am happy with it, right? So this mentality does exist in everyone. So being an entrepreneur, you need to understand that customer does not want more. Customer want only solution to the problem. Okay, focus only on a core. Develop multiple prototypes. Take those prototypes to the customer, right, who are eagerly waiting for such kind of a solution, and demonstrate it to them. Tell them, explain them, educate them, like this is how it works, this is how it benefits you, right? If you readily accept this kind of a solution, definitely it is going to save you XYZ. Okay, it may be the time, it may be the resource, it may be the money, whatever it is, right? It is going to save you in terms of these things. Explain it to them, and based on the feedback that they are giving it to you, accept those feedbacks, whether it is in good or a bad, right? And then learn with those feedbacks. If 7 out of 10 customers are giving the same kind of a feedback, it indicates that either there is some fault in your prototype or either there is some goodness in your prototype. If 7 customers are accepting what you have developed, then there is a good thing in your prototype, like there is a market for your prototype. If 7 people are not accepting what you have developed, then it indicates that there has to be some changes in your prototype, right? So this kind of a validation that you need to do it in the beginning itself, because prototype is all about the risk and assumptions that you are making. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to follow to the 4 action framework, that is raise, create, reduce, or eliminate. These are the 4 action framework which you need to follow to iterate your prototype. Okay, so what do you need to raise? You need to raise the values or the features which the alternatives are not having. Sometime either of these you need to follow. This we usually call it as a 4 action framework, which we need to apply for developing a solution, right? And to compete into the market, maybe your competitor is giving some XYZ product, similar product, alternative product. You need to analyze those products, okay? And after analyzing those products, you need to decide whether to raise some features, create new features, or eliminate certain features or reduce certain features, right? Based on your competitor strategy, you need to apply. You have to be always contradict to your competitor, okay, once you are developing, because in this today's world there are so many alternatives, and those alternatives, the suppliers of those alternatives are all your competitor, right? Once you take out your prototype to the customer, understand what is required, accordingly you create things, you raise the things, right? You eliminate certain things or reduce certain things. Please do follow to this 4 action framework in order to validate your prototype. Okay, now certain tips for you all for prototyping the solution is focus only on the core operation, and while developing a prototype, make sure that you give customer the real sense of a solution, not just the prototype. Give real sense of a solution, not just a prototype. Don't always give the dummy models to them. They should feel that, okay, how does it work? Come up with an wireframe, nice looking wireframe which operates at a very good level. You all are very much aware of how to develop a prototype, right? And don't unnecessarily build the flashy demos. Don't create catchy things, because they looks very cheap, right? they may not attract the customer because they are interested only in the core solution or something that can solve their problem. Use your own resources. Don't unnecessarily use additional resources which can overburden you, right? Which may take out a lot of time. In that case, you may fail up in competing with your competitor, because every 1 hour, every 1 month, every 1 hour new product appears in the market. Every 1 month, new entrepreneur emerges in the market, right? So don't unnecessarily use or overburden yourself. Use your own resources. Keep it simple, crisp, so that you can only look into the customer problem. Okay, build as many demos as possible. That's what my suggestion to you is. Come up with multiple prototypes. Take those prototypes to the customers, different customers, and validate them. The one which is getting the highest rate, one which is getting the highest demand, immediately release the product for that. Okay, so now there is an image in front of you. Okay, once you develop a prototype, you are taking it to the customer in order to validate it, right? And the reason behind validating it, to create a blue ocean for you. There are two kinds of competitions in the market. One, we call it as a red ocean market, where there is a huge competition, huge ocean of competition, and a huge cutthroat competition. Everybody is trying to kill one another in the market, in the existing world, right? So that we call it as a red ocean market, where there are huge number of solutions, brands, alternatives, right? People are trying to kill one another only to survive themselves. But being an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, is possible only when you create opportunity for yourself. And what kind of a opportunity you need to create is a blue ocean kind of a opportunity. Okay, where there is no competition, and blue ocean kind of an opportunity you can develop only by following to these 4 framework. Okay, analyze your custom competitor, what they are providing, what is their offering, what are their benefits. Once you analyze it, then you need to decide to raise or create or eliminate or reduce certain features, benefits, offerings as compared to your competitor, in order to create a blue ocean for you, where there is no competition at all. Right? Once you enter into a blue ocean, till the competitor enters in that particular segment, right? So you can alone enjoy all the fruits. So this is how you need to validate your customer. Okay. Now, once you validate your prototype, after taking it to the customer, what you need to come up is, you need to come up with a very first sellable product, which is called as minimum viable product. Okay, what is minimum? The most rudimentary, bare bones foundation of the solution possible. Okay, so give the core solution possible to the customer, that is minimum. What is viable? Sufficient enough for early adopters. Now the question here is, who are early adopters? Early adopters are a group, or I can say a segment of your customers. I'm using the quote here, your customer. Okay, your customer is not the entire world. Your customer is only what you want to, or whom you want to sell that particular product. And it is a group of people who are facing that particular problem, of which you have developed a solution. Among your customers, early adopters are the one who are eagerly waiting for a new solution or a new product into the market. Like, you all are tech savvy guys, right? And among your group of people, among your group of friends, there are certain there could be a certain friend who is looking for a new product, always looking for a new product, right? Like, you might have seen your friend who very quickly or moderately changes their smartphones, laptops, right? The new gadgets, they bring in new gadgets, right? So those people who are very much enthusiastic in purchasing new things, new products, right? They want to be first in the market, right? They want to be the first group of people who are having all advanced solution with them. They are called as early adopters, right? So build a product sufficient enough for your early adopters. Don't try to build the solution, right, which is addressing all the problems of all the people, which is highly impossible for any kind of an entrepreneur. Okay, so that is, product is something tangible, the customer touch and feel. The first product, sellable product out into the market where your customer can feel it, touch it, right, can look into it, can see into it, can use into it, and can readily buy it. They should be able to, immediately after looking at a product, they should be able to take out some money and pay it and get that product for themselves. That we call it as a first or minimum viable product, which can be readily introduced into the market after validating your prototype. Now, once you validate your prototype and bring in your MVP into the market, then again you can validate the MVP by taking certain feedback from the customer. Usually you often have looked into certain products which are being sold in exhibitions, which are sold on a roadside, and those people not only just sell their products, right, they also take a feedback from the customer. What kind of a feedback they are looking is, they are looking for some genuine feedbacks given by genuine trusted users, so that they can develop a next iterated MVP, right? So always you might have seen that the products gets iterated year on year, month by month and year, right? You would have seen so many new versions of a products coming into the market. So those are all nothing but the MVP. We always focus on a MVP, minimum viable product, which can be readily sold into the market. Okay, so this is all about the validation. So validation is all related to the customer. It is not just what we analyze it, it is what the customer analyze it and what customer accept it. If you, being an entrepreneur, understands, learn from what your customer is in need of, then definitely you will be succeed in building a solution, product, service, right, so that your customer immediately jumps onto it and grabs it, accept it, right, and they will be happily using it. If it is not possible, then you have to apply 4 action framework. Look out into your alternatives or your competitor, understand what they are offering, right? Accordingly, you either raise it, create it, eliminate it, or reduce it, so that you fit into the market and you compete it. Okay, with this, I'm concluding here, and I'm open for questions. If any questions from your side. I hope I'm on time limit, right? Let me know if there are any questions. Guys? Hello? Any questions now? One thing, remember to validate your product. Customer are the primary, and identifying the customer is very important. And to identify the customer, you have to do the segmentation. Segmentation is all about dividing the customers and making the niche customer segment. Okay, let me take the questions by Bibin Chaco. I have a great idea that has no competition. How can I protect it so others steal my idea? Let me tell you, Bibin, so idea alone is not a great idea. So to make that particular idea happen, you have to work on that particular idea. Okay. Don't assume. One of the mistakes that most of the young entrepreneurs do is they think that they have a very good idea. Okay. And they never disclose it to anyone. In a business, in an entrepreneurial world, so idea alone doesn't make a value, but the way you execute it makes a value. Okay. So let me give an example. Like there are a lot of hoteling businesses, right, in India and the world. Now, one idea that has been converted is Oyo rooms, or in India, it is in India, it is Oyo rooms, right? So what made him different? It is not that he had a very innovative idea. Such kind of an idea, so many people have thought it. Okay. So many people have thought about same kind of an idea even before what Ritesh has thought. Okay. But the execution, the amount of time that you are taking in executing that particular idea becomes very important. Okay. So don't always focus on an idea and think that it is very innovative idea, great idea. So I need not to discuss it with anyone, and I only protect that particular idea is a wrong thing. Okay, nowadays in this particular world, same idea which has come in your mind, similar kind of idea would have come in another 10 people at the same time, at the same moment. Whatever you are thinking, someone else in the world, in any corner of the world, would have thought about the same idea. It is true fact. I am giving you based on the certain studies that I have done. So alone does not contribute in this entrepreneurial world, but the execution, making it happen as earliest, would become an entrepreneur successful. Okay, so there is no harm in discussing your idea and make it, develop it, and then release it to the customers as earliest as possible. Any other questions? Keeping the ideas is what most of the students make a mistake here. Please bring it into execution. Okay, don't keep your idea limited only to the prototype level. Most of the students end up developing a prototype, okay, and they forget doing the further exercises, that is validating the prototype among the customers and bringing that particular solution into a market itself is a really a challenging thing for the students, which most of the students fail in execution. Okay, they end up bringing the idea into prototype, and then they end up their career thinking that the prototype needs to be protected and I don't want to disclose it. By that time, someone else would come into the picture with execution. Okay. Okay, what are the online resources? What online resources are helpful for learning more about starting a business? Okay, there is a lean canvas, lean business model which you can study online, because it's all about developing a business model rather than writing a thorough business plan. There are two things. One is about a business plan and the second one is about business model. Okay, so most entrepreneurs keep on developing a business plan, right? And business plan is basically a booklet which you need to submit to get some financial help. which contains a thorough description, details, and minute observations made or to be done in near future. That is called as a business plan. Whereas the business model is a quick model which you can develop, and you can use it for a discussion with respect to your investor, right? So to always to pitch to your investor, it is always better to have a model which focuses on the problem, customer, solution, right, and the various channels through which you can reach. What are your revenue streams? What is the cost structure that is required, right? How what are the key measures, key metrics that you are using to measure the performance of your business, to which all these things together come in a one single picture, and that we call it as a business model. So you can refer to a lean canvas as an online source and develop your business model referring to that lean canvas, which will give you a picture of your entire business, how you want to develop it and how you want to execute it, and keep that business model ready with you always to pitch to it to your investors. So pitching to the investor is a very short time period which will be provided usually by the investors. Investors don't have much time to interact with all new entrepreneurs. They will be busy. You need to catch hold of them, and within that particular moment, you have to impress them. And it is possible only through business model. And the one of the world's best widely accepted model is a lean canvas. Okay. One more question: how beneficial can be joining a startup after graduation? TGO, right? Thomas, I will call you as a Thomas. Thomas, let me tell you. See, joining a startup after graduation, there is no time frame for doing with your startup activity. Being a student, you can do with your startup activity. No need to keep separate timeline time for it, because it is all your continuous efforts, right? And it requires certain grooming, and that can happen during your graduation time also, because you will be with a lot of network. Build your network, because only the network is going to help you. That's what I was talking about. One point, principle of effectuation. You can read out on this particular principles, which has been developed by studying thousands of entrepreneurs. It's called as principles of effectuation, and one of the principle is about bird in hand principle. And bird in hand principle talks about utilizing the resources, be it a human power, be it a manpower, be it your money, be it the resources, wealth that you are having, right? Be it an idea that you are having, be it the knowledge that you are having. So it is better always to begin immediately rather than waiting till your graduation. Okay, by that time someone would have come up with the same kind of an idea, and before the time you think, you would have already brought into execution. Okay. Next question by Vedant Sunil: what are the dark sides to work in a startup? Okay, the dark sides are nothing but most of the entrepreneurs work with the assumptions. Okay, that is the dark side. So assumptions doesn't always work. You think that, okay, once I start with my product and it takes me around 6 months to execute, right? And with after 6 months, I'll be able to sell my product into the market where the customers will be happily accepting it. This is an assumption that I'm making as of now. I don't know what is next near future in next 6 months, right? Nobody has thought of this COVID-19 situation, right? This COVID-19 situation has come up and hit so many entrepreneurs, had killed so many entrepreneurs, had given rise to so many new entrepreneurs, right, who are ready to take the challenges. That's what I was talking about. Follow to your passion, find out the flow, right, wherein you can put yourself behind that particular area of interest, so that nobody is going to stop you, even not even the worst pandemic, or none of the people in the world would stop you in doing it, whether you fail it or succeed it, but you should be able to complete it, you should be able to execute it, right? And if you are having that particular caliber, definitely you will succeed. And don't work out only with the assumptions. And most entrepreneurs fail because 90 percentage of the things that they have made is on assumptions. Please have the statistics, always believe in statistics, okay, believe in the real figures, values that you are getting. And situations, nobody uh, gives the situations, right? Situations come to you, and you should be ready to accept those situations. There is a very best quote: life gives you lemon, make a lemonade out of it. Okay, this is one of the best quote that I always remember, which talks about situations could come to you, be it a worst or a good, but always remember, if there are worse situations, so be ready to make some good out of worse situations as well. So that we call it as a life gives you lemons, make a lemonade out of it, right? So situations come to you, accept those situations and move ahead. Any other questions? Any more questions? There are few thoughts or quotations which I always remember. There is one is life gives you a lemonade, make a lemon. Life gives you a lemon, make a lemonade out of it. And always don't work with the assumptions, and don't keep your ideas. Okay, give your ideas, take it, accept the suggestions given to that particular idea and work on it. If there is something required to be patented or copyrighted or protected, okay, then go for it. And remember, if you are going for a protection of your idea, then make sure that you are going to make a business out of it. Otherwise, there is no meaning of going for patent or copywriting it. Because as per my knowledge, okay, there are lakhs of patents, copyrights which are pending, right? And there is no outcome of those patents and copyrights. They are just being copyrighted. Either they are not using it for the development purpose, or they are not allowing someone else to use it for the development. And those have been kept as it is, because the copyright or the patent office provides it, the copyright or a patent in your name for 20 years, and those 20 years nobody could develop something out of it. Either you are doing something out of it, good out of it. So I'm always against doing copyrights or a patent until and unless if it is worth doing a business. If you think that, okay, I will be doing a business out of it and I should have a copyright with it, right? Or you have a copyright or a patent by your name, take it to someone who can develop it on earliest basis, so that you get a honorarium for your copyright, right? So I hope I've made a point to Bibin. So until and unless it is required, don't go for a copyrighted or patent. First, go for building the prototype and converting it into an actual product or a service, so that customer can easily, readily accept those products and service in the market. Any other questions? Just a minute. Just waiting for our questions. Sahana?
Yeah, that was a great session, sir. Thank you for your time. I think there are no more questions here. So I think we can end the session. The participants can fill the feedback form that has been sent in the chat box. If anyone has any more questions, they can still ask. Or I think we can end the session with the vote of thanks. Amisha, you can go ahead.
That was a very informative and enlightening session, sir. We are sure everyone had a fun and interactive learning experience and that everyone is well acquainted with what prototype validation is and its significance in a startup. We really thank you for sharing your valuable knowledge with us aspiring students. We look forward to be hosting many more such enlightening sessions with you in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best, students. And I believe that definitely these sessions will help you in being an entrepreneur, right? Not just an entrepreneur, but a successful entrepreneur. Okay. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sahana. I'm leaving now.